I feel like this topic pops up about every other week. It gets a lot of attention and then it dies down, and then like a week later it gets ignited again and I see a bunch of posts on it, and to me it's quite annoying. I opened my phone today and I started to see a bunch of new posts and discussion about Lamar going to Detroit. Now, after I saw all these disgusting posts and conversations about Lamar Jackson going to the Detroit Lions, and I'll elaborate why I do not like these posts and discussions in a moment, I started to think to myself, what could have happened to reignite this flame? And then I saw that it was breaking news that Lamar Jackson announced that he requested a trade from the Ravens on March 2nd. To start off, as you can probably tell how I started my video, the tone of my voice, I'm extremely against the idea of Lamar Jackson going to Detroit, and hopefully by the end of this video you're convinced that it's a bad idea as well. Also, not only am I against the idea of the Detroit Lions signing Lamar Jackson, but I'm also really against all the people that talk about and want Lamar Jackson, especially Lions fans, to go to Detroit, because I feel like that's just straight up disrespect to Goff. In my humble, unbiased opinion, I feel like if you're saying the Lions should sign Lamar Jackson, you're saying that Lamar Jackson would take the Lions further than Jared Goff. He would be the better choice, the better decision, and I feel like that's extremely untrue. To start my argument, I want to compare the two quarterbacks, but without using their name. Lamar Jackson's name carries a lot of weight. He's an extremely exciting player to watch, and the idea of Lamar Jackson going to your team may seem extremely exciting to you, but the most exciting choice in certain scenarios isn't always the best one. With that said, let's say, hypothetically of course, you have a football team that wants to run the ball. Part of their strategy, part of their game plan is they want to have a strong running game, and they have solidified an extremely strong offensive line and two solid running backs. Additionally, this hypothetical team also has multiple extremely strong wide receivers that want to catch the ball and can catch the ball. And lastly, this football team also has one of the best offensive coordinators in the NFL right now and have extremely good drawn out plays. So with this hypothetical team you have with this given information, I'm going to list two possible quarterbacks, and your job is you're going to want to pick which one do you think would be the best fit for this hypothetical team. Quarterback 1 has been in the league for 5 years and is extremely fast with a 4.44 40-yard dash, has 1 MVP, 2 Pro Bowls, and in his second season rushed for 1,206 yards. However, due to his rushing abilities, he's labeled as an injury-prone quarterback. In this quarterback's third season, he sprained his knee and missed a practice but no games. In his third season, he suffered a concussion in the final game of the season in the playoffs. In his fourth season, he suffered a grade 1 lower back injury but managed to play through it. Later in his fourth season, he suffered a grade 2 ankle sprain in week 14 and missed the remainder of the season. And in his most recent season, his fifth season in the NFL, he suffered a grade 2 knee sprain, missing the final 6 games and the playoffs. Now, with these statistics, some may disagree that this quarterback is injury prone. However, through the 12 games this quarterback played last season, he ran the ball on average 9 times per game. And sadly, this playstyle for quarterbacks is considered injury prone. Rushing quarterbacks get injured far more than pocket passing quarterbacks. And think about running backs. Running backs are the most injured position in the NFL. If you run the ball, it's highly likely you're going to get injured, and we've already seen it in the last 2 seasons. With injuries, including this quarterback's rookie season, out of the 4 seasons he's been in the NFL, he's only played 2 full seasons due to injuries. However, in 2 of his seasons, he's averaged more than 200 yards per game and has proved himself as an average passer. The last thing we'll be looking at is their playoff performances and experience. This quarterback has played in 4 playoff games and is 1-3. This quarterback's first playoff appearance was in his rookie season, and his defense was 2nd ranked in the NFL, allowing only 18.2 points per game. Sadly, him and his team lost this game 23-17 at home as he completed 14 of his 29 passes, a 48% completion rate. He threw for 2 touchdowns, had 1 interception, and 1 fumble, but both touchdowns came late in the 4th quarter as he led his team to only 3 points points until 7 minutes left in the game. This quarterback's second playoff appearance came in his second season, but sadly another loss as they lost 12-28 at home after securing a first-round bye. His passing numbers were far better as he completed 31 of 59 of his passes, 365 yards, a touchdown, but 2 interceptions, and had a completion rate of 52%. And sadly only led his team to 6 points until 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter. His third playoff appearance was finally a win, completing 70% of his passes for 179 yards, but sadly 0 touchdowns to 1 interception. But a win is a win. And then for his final or most recent playoff appearance was against Buffalo, the game after this most recent one, and was a 17-3 loss away. He did suffer a concussion as time expired in the third quarter, but he did only lead his team to 3 points through the first 3 quarters, including an end zone interception. Now let's move on to the next choice, quarterback number 2. 3 Pro Bowls, has been in the league for 7 seasons, and has played in 6 playoff games. Throughout this quarterback's 7 seasons in the NFL, he's thrown for 3,000 yards 6 times and over 4,000 yards 3 times. Throughout this quarterback's 6 playoff appearances, he hasn't had any super amazing special performances, but has led his team to 3 wins and a Super Bowl appearance. And in the playoffs, this quarterback averages 260 passing yards per game and has 4 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions. Also, throughout the final 9 games of the most recent season, this quarterback threw 15 touchdowns to 0 interceptions with an average passer rating of 105.9 and averaged 266 yards a game. So with your hypothetical team that has a strong O-line, 2 strong running backs, multiple strong wide receivers, a top-tier offensive coordinator, and a great passing game, which quarterback are you taking? QB1 or number 2? Are you taking the flashy, rushing, injury-prone quarterback that has had some regular season success and put up some decent numbers? Or are you taking the reliable, solid pocket passer that has thrown for over 4,000 yards in 3 different seasons? And before you make your final pick, I forgot to mention that QB number 2 has been with this hypothetical team for the past 2 seasons and has built chemistry and relations with the OC and all the wide receivers and the whole team. Now, obviously, we all know QB number 1, Lamar Jackson, QB number 2, Jared Goff, and I'm taking Jared Goff every single time in this scenario. I don't see how you could possibly take Lamar Jackson in this situation. I don't see how you could possibly talk about wanting to get Lamar Jackson instead of Jared Goff. I don't see how you can see Lamar Jackson as an upgrade from Jared Goff. I also didn't mention that Jared Goff is on a low salary. He was playing at Patrick Mahomes level through the final 9 games last season, and he's not getting paid anywhere near it, while Lamar Jackson wants a big boy contract and has been bitching about it for the last 2 seasons, and no one wants to give it to him. I think this whole conversation is just an extension of Jared Goff hate. It's just Jared Goff hate without saying you don't like Jared Goff. It's ridiculous. And I might be getting a little pissed off here, but Jared Goff is my quarterback, and I'll defend him until I die. I also love how Dan Campbell defends and puts up Goff. He said, Goff's our guy. I love Goff. Campbell also came out and said, I think he's proven over the last 2 years that, man, he's made for us. He's had to endure a lot, just like all of us have. I thought he played his best football last year, and I think he's going to come out and play some of his best football this year. And again, back to the money thing, Lamar Jackson would be extremely expensive, and Goff isn't that expensive, and he's playing amazing. The thing I don't really understand is, why do people think that if we just pay Lamar Jackson, then we'll win a Super Bowl? Who's to say that he won't get injured? Who's to say that he'll perform in Detroit? There's so many different variables and unknowns. My opinion, which I don't give out, but it might come off a little bit harsh, I think you're kind of a fool if you think Lamar Jackson is the answer for Detroit. That's not the answer. The answer is to continue building up our defense as we've done in free agency, continue to build our offense, and continue to grow as a team. Again, last year, the Lions were the youngest team in the NFL. I got a fun question. Would you rather have Aaron Rodgers or Lamar Jackson come to Detroit? If I had to pick one to replace Goff, I think I'd honestly pick Aaron Rodgers over Lamar Jackson. That was a tough one to say. I almost threw up while I said that one. I'm sorry I brought up that hypothetical question. Overall, Goff is the more reliable quarterback, the better pocket passer, and I'd pick him every day of the week. And I know I'm just saying things again, but I think it's just hating on Goff when you say that the Lions need an upgrade in the QB position. They need to upgrade to Lamar Jackson. They need to go out and get Lamar Jackson. That's just blatant Goff disrespect, and the true Lion fans know, Dan Campbell knows, Goff is our QB. The last thing I want to bring up is talking about this NFL Network video. I'll link it in the description, but they're all talking about where should Lamar Jackson go. And this analyst here, she just blatantly disrespects the Lions. She goes verbatim, if the Lions get Lamar Jackson, I think a lot of us would be tempted to take them coming out of the NFC. I just think it's crazy to say that an upgrade to Lamar Jackson, you think the Lions are going to go to the Super Bowl if they get Lamar Jackson? I think that's just a crazy thing to say. I think already the Lions, this team is already an NFC title champion contender. Look at all the teams, definitely Lions are in the top few that have a good shot at maybe making it to the Super Bowl. But they're saying that if the Lions get Lamar Jackson, then maybe they might have a good chance to go far. It's just underestimating the team already. Lamar Jackson isn't going to change anything. I know I'm just rambling on and there's not really any more points I can make. It's just really frustrating how people think Lamar Jackson will change the Lions. Why would, after building all this around Goff, building this whole new team, taking in all these new players, this young talent, drafting all this young talent, and you just want to bring in this veteran, injury-prone quarterback who wants a lot of money, and that's going to be the difference. That's what this team needs. That's what they're missing. Like, it's just no. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Sorry for calling you a fool if you thought Lamar Jackson was the answer. I still stand by it. I apologize for being rude about it. If you enjoy my content, I would really appreciate if you could like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. And once again, as always, thanks for watching.